right, good afternoon. So we're going to continue with Allie.Chat. We're working on the command system. So let's take a look at where we currently are. I'll run the backend here, and I'm going to start up my, looks like my app is already served, so we'll just restart this just to make sure everything's good. This is my static content site, which is out and running. Okay, wait for this to compile. Hey Psychotronic, how are you doing? Welcome back. Just got started. I'm good. I'm doing great. Let's get started. So we got everything here working. We'll start up the application. We're authed in through my identity server. If I take a look here at streams, I have a lot of stream information in here, and then also my currency is active in the stream. And if I was to look at commands, I've created these command sets which have a prefix. So for example, this one is a question mark or a exclamation mark. So if you were to input an exclamation mark with Allie.Chat in the channel, this would fire the command. And then in this, I have two commands, command 1 and command 2, but we currently don't have any command replies. So we want to add those. So let me think. When I do a command reply, I probably just want to do this in another window here, similarly to how I'm doing this modal. So what I'm saying is, command replies, you could have multiple of them. Then I'm just going to make a column with them in here. So let's go ahead and do that. So if I look underneath my shared, you have command set commands, but no replies yet. So let's make a new window and do an ng generate component and ggc, and we're going to call it shared / command set commands replies, and we're going to put this in my module app. All right. So when I look at this, I'm going to make sure that in this component, no, this is going to be a modal. So let me get rid of this. I'm going to do it again here, and I'm going to put this in my shared modals, and I'm going to call it a command set command reply modal. And I'll need to fix that in my app module here. This one. And this one. Okay. So when you look at streams or commands here, this looks good. So let's start by adding in my command set commands a new column in here called replies. And we don't want this to be sortable. And in this, for each one of my elements, I want to do an unordered list. And I want to do a list item of my ng4 equals let. And it's going to be a reply of element dot replies, I think is what it's called. And we'll double check that by looking at a command. And it's called Command Replies. And then all I want to do is display here my this one, which is a message reply, and that's all. And this is a reply dot that. Okay, and we'll put this under replies here. Okay. And then on the back end, where I look at where I'm pulling that from my hub, this is called my command set commands. So you have a request command sets commands, just called request commands. So when you do this, we want to make sure that we're also retrieving our replies. We're not currently. So here, if I look at this one, we do get the replies there. So we should be good to go. This is for one command, which means that this needs to be a command view model. Like that. This is called VMs and a command VM. Like that. So now for each one of these commands, we want to get the replies and then map it across. Like that. So if I was to run this again, we check the login. We'll take a look at command sets here. And I see replies, and I don't see any currently. So I'm going to change this to be edit command. And I'll make a new one here called create reply. So then for each one of this, we're going to say that this is a create reply, like that. Okay, like that. And then in here, we're going to make a new method called create reply, and we'll just make this an alert. This is invoked from create reply. We'll take a look at the command set here. Okay, so when I take a look at this, I see edit command here, which is good. And now in replies, I should have a new category here called create reply. Okay, so when we click this, it'll say it's invoked. So what I want to do here is I want to have a new modal. So underneath modals, I'm going to create a new component called a ng generate component called shared modals. And we're going to say that this is a we don't need to do this, we already have it called a command reply modal. So the first thing for a modal is in my app module, I want to add in here a command reply modal component. And then the next thing is if I look at my status create modal, and I'll copy this. What's going on with this? Create reply. That should be fine. And it's invoking one with an element.id. So this needs to be a ID of a string. Okay. So in my modal, we're going to say that we have a data.title, a message. And in here, I'm only going to have one called a, if I look at my interfaces, it's called message reply. And we're going to say save command reply. Same thing here. There is no other fields. And just the footer here, which has the save message, the as no click. And then if my data.message array reply does not equal to 0, then we will do a save command reply. So in the TS, we'll steal it from this one. So we have a mat dialog reference here, and this is called a commands reply modal, and we're going to inject the modal dialog data, which I'm going to specify as a interface I command reply create modal data, which will have a title, a message, a command reply, which is a string, a description, nope, doesn't have that on ID, a cancel message, a confirm message, and a is confirmed. So I'll put that here. And then we'll bring in my toaster instance. So if my command reply does not equal to these things, or if it is, then we want to say you must enter a command reply. Okay. Otherwise, we're going to go ahead and close this data out. So when I look at this again, this should be a save command reply. And if I look at these, it should, message reply should be called command reply. Looks good. So now we're going to invoke this from my create reply button, which is in command set commands, create reply. We can do it right here. And this time we're going to create a I command reply create modal data called command reply modal data. And this is going to say enter command reply. And we're going to say enter the command, please enter a command reply below. And we're going to say that this is save, cancel, and we also need to have command reply and ID. So we'll make those undefined and then also the ID as undefined. So in this one, this is our data, and then this is a command reply modal create called a command reply modal create. And after we close it, I'm going to set this thing to be true, and I'm going to say a alert, which is a now save the command reply. Okay, so when I run this, please enter command reply here, hello world, and it wants to save it. Right here. So what I want to do is I want to open up my Web Hub service, and at the top here I want to create a new called a commands replies received called an I command reply. Nick, how are you doing, buddy? Hardly difficult. It's great to hear from you, man. How are you doing? In case you guys don't know me, my name's Rob. I'm streaming during the week, a little bit during the weekend. We're working on Allie.Chat right now. What's up, buddy? We're writing this in Angular CLI, and then the backend is done in ASP.NET WebAPI Core using SignalR as our data transfer layer. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to put them into the chat. Make sure you check us out at discord.pixelhorrorstudios.com, and I put all these videos up at youtube.pixelhorrorstudios.com. Nick, what are you working on these days? Last I saw you were doing crypto stuff. I know, I saw that you were jumped off for a little bit and that you were just starting to get back into streaming. I was really excited to see you back into it. What are you working on these days? So this is a command solidity dev. Ah, that's chill. The crypto thing, it's really technical, which I like about that. This is command reply here. And then this one needs to be create command reply received, as well as the one below. And then down here, I need to have underneath my commands a command reply. So receive commands replies, which is a command replies there and an I command reply. And this is a commands replies and a commands replies. I don't know if you guys can tell, I got a new monitor. It's a ultra wide screen. I'm wondering what you guys think about it. It makes it really interesting when coding that I can have both the front end and the back end up, as well as a browser window. It's called receive command reply, called command reply, and an I command reply. And then this is a command reply here and a command reply received. Create command reply like that. And then remove command reply. Almost done with the SignalR layer. Next is our requests, which are down here under here, commands. So we'll dump these in, and it's going to be a request commands replies, and we're going to do this for a command ID, which is a request commands replies called command ID. The next is a request command reply. The next is create command reply. And we're going to do a command reply create request. And then this is a remove command reply. We're almost done. We have one more set, which is our observable gets. So down here, we're going to do a get commands replies, which is a I command reply, commands replies received, a get command reply, almost done. These are the last ones. A get create command reply, and then a get remove command reply there. That just about does it. So we need to fix our interfaces. So I'm going to open up my interfaces, and I want to look for a I command reply. And here I'll make a new interface called a I command reply create request. It doesn't need to extend anything. And I'm going to add on it the ID, which is a string. We don't need the I command. What we do want the command ID, which is a string. That should do it here. So now, when I'm invoking this, which is up here, I need to have we're going to have a create command reply received subscription. And I'll add that to my dispose. Okay. So when we get this, it's going to be a get if I open up my web hub, oops, sorry, that's why this is weird. This.webhub.get command reply, and we want to subscribe here, which is called and it's a get create command reply. And we want to add in here my success, which is a boolean. And I want to say that if it is a success, we want to say the command reply was successfully saved. Command reply saved. The command reply could not be received. Command reply could not be received. Okay? So if I look at this again, so it only invoked that. So I want to do a const request is a I command reply create modal data. No, it's a I command request. And we're going to make this a, it's got a ID, a message reply, that's it. Okay, so we need to do that here by making this the correct type, like that. And then it's going to be a result.id and then a result.message command reply. I need to make sure that this is square in the back end. So underneath the library entities, I'm going to say this is a command reply, which is called a command reply. And then in the DTOs, it's called a command reply. And then in the view models, it's called a command reply. And then in the requests, we need to make a new one in here called a command reply create request, which is only going to have a couple of things. It's a public, which inherits from a base request. Come on. And I want this to have a string called a command reply. And I also want to have this with a prop called a GUID of my command ID. Let's add that to my data access layer auto mapper. Right here, called a command reply create request. And we'll put this as a command reply. Okay. Crap. Command reply text. Okay, let's change that then in the DTOs and the view models and the create requests. And then over here we want to have this as a command reply text and a command reply text. So this is a command reply text. And I want to make this equal to my result dot command reply text. This one also needs to have on it the command ID, which gets passed here as a it's just the ID. And then what I want to do is my this.webhub.save command reply. And I want that to be my request. So if I open up my web hub, request command reply, create command reply. There we go. And so when you're done creating your command reply, you want to have another one here called received commands replies, commands replies received subscription. Wait. Command sets commands gets instantiated for every command set, so that's okay. Let's remove that for now. Let me fix my errors here. So my first one is in modals. This is a reply text. Okay, my next ones are in commands set commands. Let's recompile that. Okay, so that worked. So back here in the back end, when I have my new one here called request commands replies, this is going to be for a command ID. And we'll add this in here as a commands replies get, command reply get, command reply create, and command reply remove. Like that. And then in here we want to make my new command reply VM, which is whole BLDTO, read commands replies of a command ID. This is a create command reply. Update command reply asynchronous. And then a delete command reply. Okay. So this is a read commands replies asynchronous of my command ID. Receive commands replies. The next one is here, request command reply, which is a read command reply asynchronous. Receive command reply. The next one here is a create command reply, which is a command reply create request. Command reply create. Create command reply here. Update command reply there. This needs to have on it a string called ID. And this is a request command replies of my request.command ID. And create command reply like that, and then like that. And this is the last one, which is a command reply remove, read command reply. Like that, read. If we can delete the command reply, then it's going to be remove command reply. And we'll request our commands replies here of my command reply dot command dot ID, and this is my receive command reply. Looks good. So when I run it, tells me I never implemented these, so let's go ahead and do that. Okay, we'll move these functions up here underneath command. And then I'm going to go ahead and modify multiple and do a virtual async. Virtual asynchronous task. So this first one, when I look at my commands replies, I want to get it where my command ID is equal to command ID and my command.command set.application user. So we want to include my command and then also include my command.command set. And this is going to be a command reply VM, which will be called a DTOs because we're changing it. And then we're mapping this to my command reply DTO, which will be called a DTO, and then we'll add it, and then we'll return it as an array. Okay, the next one is singular. This one. Put this down here as commands replies. And we want to include my command and my command set like that. Okay. The next one is this create command reply, which we can steal from here. So we'll create a new command reply, which we're mapping. And this goes into commands replies. We have an update called, we'll use this one, update commands replies. And we want to include the commands like that. And we're going to get the ID here of the command I1. And if that's the case, then all we have is command reply text and ID. Okay. The last one here is delete command reply, which needs to copy this one, and it's fairly similar to an update. So this is a commands replies, and we want to include my command set. Like that. Looks good. So we can go ahead and rebuild this thing. It looks like our backend is ready to go, so we can start it up. Want to look at my app. I'm going to look at command sets. It should retrieve my commands here. So the reason it's not is because I need to update my context. So I'll set this as my startup project, and I'll do a add migration, and we're going to say this is some changes to context. And I need to make sure I'm choosing the right project. Now I'll do an update database. Looks good. We'll let it sign back in. Oops, I have to make sure I'm running multiple projects. I was like, where's my app? Okay, app's here. We can log in. We look at command sets. There we are. We can look at this one. There's our commands. If we create a reply, it'll ask me to input a reply, which will be command 1 reply. Now, in my modals, this is a command reply text. And it said that it saved successfully, but it never updated. But if I look at this, it should say that I have one command reply, which is in my shared command set commands. And this is a command reply text. So there it is. So if I look at this one, we'll put my command create reply in front of it. Because you're also going to want to have a remove. Okay, so back over here, when we're receiving my commands replies, then I'm going to add that down here in my destroy. And so then when this happens, we can do this here. And we'll subscribe on the web hub called get commands replies. And I want to say that this is a subscribe of my commands replies, which is an I command reply array. All you want to do is that this.loading equals false. And you want to do a you don't want to get this one, you want to get a command set. Here, we could say it's a request the command set. And we want to do that for my command. Now I want to say var command set equals await my services dot read command set asynchronous of my GUID, which is command. This is a command reply, so this would be a read reply of my command.id, my application user.id. And then I want to do a request command set of my command set.id. Like that. Let's try it again. Good. We want this to have another delete for each one of these, right? But I could say command test 4. It added it. It requested my command set. But I'm out of time for this evening. Thanks for staying with me. I'll be back in the morning, 5:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you have any questions, make sure you pop them into our Discord, discord.pixelhorrorstudios.com. Also, I put all these videos up at youtube.pixelhorrorstudios.com. So thanks again, guys. And I will see you in the morning. Have a good one. Bye.